Okay, so let's explore geometry a little bit. So I'll make a new page. Now for geometry, you may want to turn the grid off. So to do that, come up here and you'll see the little X over the axis grid. Click that button and the grid disappears. If you ever want to put it back, so click this button here, Cartesian grid, and it'll come back. So I can make points by selecting the point mode over here and clicking some points. With my cursor, if I select those points, I can then right click and turn it into a shape, group to shape. Enter shape is if you want to enter the coordinates of the shape manually, and you can do that for any sized polygon. Group to shape, there's the shape. When you have it clicked, if you want to change the color, you can come up here and change the fill. To do a circle, there are lots of ways. You can draw 3 points, or you can draw a single point. Then select the point, right click, and circle, and it'll ask you to enter the radius. Okay, let's say do a radius of 2, let's say. Okay, now again, this is the same. You can see my scale there. So to make that circle look like a circle, I need to give an equal aspect. Okay, so let's just pan up so I can see my circle. What else? Let's say I wanted to make some points on my circle, so I could put a point there, a point there. If I want to draw the secant, select the 2 points and right click, and I want to draw a line segment. Now when I move my points along the circle, the line segment stays. If you want an angle measure, click 3 points in order. So if I want the central angle here, click 1 point, the middle point, the third point, and then right click, and I want the angle between those 3 points. I usually like to make this a bit bigger. Let's make that 15, show label, hit OK, and there's that angle. Why don't I draw the lines? So click the 2 points, right click, line segment, and let's do it again from the center to this point here, right click, line segment. Maybe I want to make these line segments the same color. So select them, and I can switch it to orange, let's say. And again, as you drag the points, the angle will change with it. I can draw an inscribed angle as well, so let's add a third point. And let's find the inscribed angle there. I wonder if I make this a shape, if that would look good. So right click, group to shape. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So now let's identify the angle. So select the 3 points in order for this inscribed angle. Right click, angle. Okay, I like to usually make this a bit bigger, so let's make it 15 again. Okay, and there we can see the angle. Now I guess I'm in radians, so let's just jump up here and switch to degrees. Now I can see, as I drag my points along the circle, I can see both the central angle and the inscribed angle, and maybe your students would be able to make some observations before you go and prove that theorem. If you want some practice, maybe you could try to do a similar construction but for a cyclic quadrilateral and have all 4 angles of the cyclic quadrilateral displayed. When you're done, it should look something like this. And you can see as you drag the points, opposite angles should remain supplementary. Other things to explore are rotations, reflections, and dilations, or scaling. So let's just make a new plot. Oops, let's make a new plot. Let's turn the axis off. If I want to reflect a shape, let's first make a shape. group the points, right click, and group to shape. Okay, there's my shape. If I want to reflect it in a vertical line, I can use my point, right click on the point, and select vertical line. So that's the axis I want to reflect it. Click the shape and click the line. When those are both selected, right click, and you should see reflection. So select reflection, and there it will be reflected. Now if I move the original, the reflection moves as well. You could have done the same thing with a horizontal line. So let's right click that point, select horizontal line. Now I will click my original. Oh, I forgot to select my horizontal line, but you can see there are some reflection options there. But I will click the shape, click the horizontal line, right click, choose reflection. Now I get it reflected in the horizontal line as well. And it stays interactive. I can zoom out a little bit. I can also scale it by selecting the object and a point about which I want to scale it. And right click, and there's a rotation option and dilation option. So if I want to rotate it, angle pi by 2, okay, I'm in radian mode. Maybe I'll just go to degree mode, right click, rotate. Sure, 90 degrees. You may or may not want to show the construction lines. Let's leave that on for now. Hit OK. And these dotted lines are the construction lines. We can see that shape's been rotated about this point at 90 degrees. And I can still move the shape. And I might have too many objects here. It's getting confusing. Okay, this is my 90-degree rotation. Maybe I'll just delete these other ones by selecting them, hitting delete. Oops, that's not what I wanted, so I'll undo. What happened there was my original object was selected, so that's something you need to be careful about when you're in whiteboard mode. So click away to deselect everything, then click the object I want to delete, hit delete. Okay, let's do it again with this horizontal reflection. Select it, hit delete. Okay, now I have my original object and the 90-degree rotation. If I wanted to scale my original object, let's do cursor. Just made a point to delete that. Let's delete the rotation as well. So click the original object. You can click a point about which you want to scale it. Right click and dilation. Let's hide the construction lines. Let's do it by a factor of 2. Okay. And there's my scaled object.